Look, we are live right now. So we thank God for this opportunity today to welcome you, Facebook Live, and those that are on Zoom with us, to Georgia Christian Business Network's Take Charge Tuesday Power Call with our special guest today, our corporate sponsor, Gregory B. Levett Jr., and I call him Bernard. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there because I'm probably going to go to Bernard. That's just what I call him. I have the honor and the pleasure of inviting you back to the platform. We're so thankful today, Bernard, to have you. Just thank you for coming out. You've been a member, sponsor of Georgia Christian Business Network for 10 plus years. And I mean, we're just humbled by that. We're grateful for that. We've been promoting you, sharing with our community about who you are and what you do from your bio. And I just got out and did a live a few minutes ago to invite people to join us as well. But right now, what I'd like to do is allow you an opportunity to introduce yourself from your heart. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Beth. It is truly an honor to be here today. I'm so humbled, as always, to be here. My name is Bernard Levett. I go by my middle name, which most people that know me, that's what they call me, Bernard, versus my first name, Gregory. But I am born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am the vice president of Gregory B. Levett Sons Funeral Home. We have a location here in Gwinnett County, in the Lawrenceville area. We've been there for about 15 plus years. So just really thankful and grateful to be part of the Gwinnett County community. I love Gwinnett County, and just thankful to be able to serve. I work in the business with my family, my parents, Greg and Betty Levett, and then my two siblings, Lanier and Deanna. And we're just very, very fortunate to be able to be a part of such a great organization like GCBN. That's me.
And I love all of those people that you named. I've had the privilege of meeting every last one of them.
Yes, you have. Yes.
Plus your lovely wife. I'm just so honored to be in the community and family with you all. And we have much respect for the work that you do. It's just amazing. You know, how you guys perform that service. That's a unique service, if you don't mind my saying that.
Yes,
it's a necessary service. We know, especially in the last couple of years. But yet you do it so professionally. You're just good at what you do. And I know, unfortunately, there have been opportunities that you've serviced me on a personal level. And I'm just amazed sometimes at the smooth transition and the uniqueness that you bring to the table through the service that you provide. And it makes it much smoother and easier and comforting during those challenging times to have that level of service.
Absolutely. And I thank you so much for that. And I will say the notes that I put together today, had it not been for my wife, Tanisha Levett, she helped me put this together. She actually put this together for me. She's such a great writer, and she may be joining us a little later. I think she's had a couple of calls herself, so she may be joining us, but I'm just so grateful to her and love her so much for the way that she supports me.
I love it. I interacted, Lisa and I, some with her in the setup for this to happen. And I love the efficiency, the professionalism. It was evident. I was like, oh, I see you, Bernard. Oh, yes. And I love that support. I've experienced it for next month, be 41 years. with my husband,
Wow.
Jerome, and that's just a blessing. I know you guys
Yes.
sorry thought I was only about 40, but that's
Yes.
okay. But really. But Bernard, today, and first of all, I want to say thank you, Ridgely, for joining us. It's good to have you here on Zoom with us. Thank you so much. Also, what I'd like to do is thank those that have joined us on Facebook Live. Thank you for being there. I'm sure Lisa's over there, man in the fort over there. But I also wanted to say to the audience, get ready, get your pen and paper out, because there's a lot to unfold here and to unpack. And so, Bernard, let's just get started with, we've got the title, Elevate Your Perspective. And really what I prepared everyone for, that I'm really so looking forward to hearing, because, and let me just say this, and then it's yours. This year, I clearly heard the word elevation, and it's not an attractive word for our present times and situations, but I believe it's an anointed word. And the way that we've been defining elevation is a continual ascension in your mind and aligning your feet to follow that path. And so
Yes.
we believe that we've handpicked, you are one of some outstanding, successful entrepreneurs that will bring us to the point of helping us to make a decision to embrace, if we haven't already, elevation for our lives and for our businesses this year, regardless of what circumstances and situations may be happening in the world, or even in our own lives. So take it and allow God to just use you to share with us what you would say for us today.
Yes, I will. Absolutely.
Recording.
My apologies. What I'm doing is, just in case my internet seems to be a little unstable. And
Okay.
if that is the case, I'm going to switch over to another device. So just let me know if you have difficulty, anyone has difficulty hearing me.
Okay. Is
Okay.
one of them muted for right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've actually closed it.
We're
now.
good. We're good.
All right.
We did that with me before the show. That's what I was doing when I was having you sit and wait. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, very good. No, I will go ahead and get started. And again, Beth, thank you so much for inviting me. I think I believe I was trying to figure out, this is my third or fourth time having this privilege. I think it's the third time is having this privilege of being able to be here and speak. And every time you ask me, it is just really, really a privilege and an honor to do so. So thank you so much for considering me again for this opportunity.
Oh my God. Well, see, you were the best kept secret. Well, I won't say best kept secret, but you were a kept secret, because when you guys have presented many times here on the platform over the 10 years that you've been, but it was your dad, your father was presented. And then when you came forth, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know, I knew you were always a man of business with wealth of business acumen, but we always put him on the platform. So he wasn't able to make it once. And you were like, if it's okay, then I'll present. I'm like, wow, look at God. So you got it. The fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what I want to do is I want to make this as interactive as possible. I don't know if we're in a platform where people can ask questions when we're done, but I'm only going to speak for maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most, and just wanted to just really open it up to questions, because this subject, elevate, just really, really resonated with me. It just made perfect sense to me. And I think that during this time, especially the last 2 years of COVID, we've all had to somehow, in our minds, in our spirits, in our souls, we needed to elevate. And so this just really, really hit home with me. So for me, it was very easy to really talk about elevating, because I think every last one of us had to do that sometime during these last 2 years. So what I've done, I just have 4 points that 4 key discussion points that I want to speak about over the next 15 or 20 minutes. And please feel free, anyone, because again, I want this to be more of a conversation more so than me just speaking to you all. Please feel free to interrupt me at any time with any questions that you may have. But the 4 points that I really want to touch on is point number 1 is a mindful and the importance of self-care. Mindful and the importance of self-care. The second point is an investment in personal and professional development. The third point is resiliency during challenging times. And we know that we've had to all be resilient over the last couple of years. And then finally, just the importance of networking and elevating others.
Wow.
And for me, the definition, and you can just look it up and it'll pretty much say this: elevation is just the act or instance of raising your position. The act or instance of raising your position. And for me, raising your position in life. So under key point number 1, the mindfulness and the importance of self-care. So during these last couple of years during the pandemic, it's caused everyone to have to pause and reevaluate our priorities in our lives. I've certainly had to do that. I've had to do it on a day-to-day basis. And I tell you what's so really important to me, and what I've really gotten out of this in the last couple of years, in particular in my business with the funeral service, we were just tremendously impacted because of, at the rate of people dying. We're in the death care profession, and the way that we were seeing people dying, we're used to it. That's what we do, but we're very compassionate about it. But we were seeing people die in ways that we've never seen before, and it was affecting not only the families that we were serving, but it was also affecting our staff. And
Wow.
even so much so, one thing that we had to do and that we incorporated, and I asked every business owner or every aspiring business owner to really just think about this. One of our employees came to me around April of 2020 and just said, "Hey, Bernard, even though we're serving all of these people, their families, they're dying, and then we're meeting with these family members on a day-to-day basis, making arrangements to bury their loved ones. But during that time, who are lifting us up during this time? What about us in terms of us getting infected by this virus and potentially getting sick?" And at this time, this is before any vaccinations or anything were even known of at the time. And, how are we going to weather through this? So one of the things that they asked me, and I did it immediately, they said, "Let's consider having a weekly corporate prayer for our funeral home." And I instantly implemented it. And I started it off with just us doing it in-house. But what I did, I started reaching out to local parishioners, ministers, pastors, and every week we have a different minister, pastor that'll come on, and they'll just give us about 5 minutes of words of encouragement. And then we just close in prayer. And it has just done wonderful things for our staff. They've just really appreciated it. It's helped them to get perspective and understand who is truly in charge. And we know it's certainly God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ who's in charge of it all. So I just suggest and just recommend just considering doing this, however you decide to do it. And it's really just helped our staff to just grow in ways that, and we didn't do it so that our business would grow. And it certainly has helped in that, but we did it because we wanted to acknowledge where all our help comes from, and it comes from the Lord. So that was just one of the things that I just wanted to just say, but during that time, the reason why it became so important, and not to get too graphic, but in 2020, unfortunately, that was our biggest year that we've ever had before in the funeral industry. And it was because of the way people were dying of COVID. Just alone of people passing away of COVID, we served probably just at our funeral home establishment over 300 people, different families that passed away of COVID. And that was, we weren't, we were of course grateful for those families choosing us to serve them during that time. But we were just saddened because of how these families were losing their loved ones. We were losing husband and wives at the same time. Children were being lost. And it just really, really became a challenge for us, even so much so that we had to grow the business in a way that we didn't expect it. So during that time, it became very challenging for all of us, but in particular for me, I dealt with it in a way to where for several months, I was just kind of in a fog. In a fog, meaning I was in this mental state where I have a couple other businesses, and I'll talk to you all a little bit more about those in a moment. But I was just in a fog, just not understanding, God, you have me here. What's next? I have, the funeral home is doing well, but I have a construction business and I have another business that I'm looking to get started. And I don't know what to do next. So I began to just every day, more than I ever had before, began to meditate and just pray and just understand the importance of mental health. And I didn't know how real mental health was until I actually started to experience for myself. So during that time, I began to elevate during that time. But how I began to elevate was through doing self-care activities. For years, I had never just taken time out for myself, for Bernard, to just see what makes me really happy. What do I really enjoy doing? And one of the things I found, and it's so simple, you may even laugh at me, it's so simple. One of the things that I did is, so before I was married, when I was living by myself, I love heat. And during the winter time, I would set my thermometer literally at 80 degrees in my home. And so when I would come home from work and I opened the front door, it would feel like an oven. I could just feel the heat just rushing out of my home.
Was this in the winter or was this in the summer?
No, this is in the wintertime. This is in the wintertime.
Okay.
This is in the wintertime.
Okay.
And I love it. I love the heat so much. So, and of course I can't do that now being married. So my wife, can't do that. But one of the things that I did for self-care was I started going to, I have a standing appointment every Sunday to go to a sauna. And I spend 50 minutes at this sauna. It's this infrared place that I go to. Is every Sunday after we have our church service. I go and I spend 50 minutes in the sauna, and it just allows me to just reflect on the week. It helps me to get my week started. And then also it's a health benefit because it helped me to detox any toxins that's in my body and to just release any of that. So for me, that may not seem big to anyone else, but that's my thing. I enjoy heat. It relaxes me. And that's one of the things that has really kept my sanity and to keep me from going insane, because something that simple helped me to really understand what it is I enjoy and what I need.
This is so good already. And the opportunity that you started with was prayer. Is implementing prayer as a regular opportunity, consistent, fervent prayer. James 5:16 tells us the fervent prayer, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So our opportunity here that I'm hearing You're talking about a successful businessman that is in the midst of elevation. And you said something else. I'm going to put them both out here that really captured me. Is you said at the funeral home, and we're going to get into the diversification in the other businesses, because I know about one, but the other one,
Yes.
when you've got something new you're springing on me here. And so I'm looking forward to hearing about that, because I believe diversification is key to greater success in life and in business. But one thing that you said that I believe that God has placed on my heart to push out there for our members is that you said that you all experienced growth at the funeral home in the business in a way that you didn't expect. It was unfortunate and it was a sensitive issue, but nonetheless, you experienced success in a unique way. This is what God laid on my heart to tell someone. About, they were talking about something about a debt or something. And I said, God placed it on my heart, and you just affirmed it and confirmed it, because he expounded upon that to me personally. And I really hadn't shared this with anyone, but you gave me the opportunity, affirmation, validation, confirmation, all of that stuff right here. Is sometimes we're looking for God to bless us the same way that he always has. And God said, I'm doing a new thing. I'm sorry, excuse me. I forgot to close my door and I'm in my co-working spot, but I'm going to get this out here. And so the opportunity is this. God says, I'm doing a new thing in your life. Can you not see it? Do you not know it? And he's making a way in the wilderness. And so the opportunity sometimes where we're looking for God to move, well, God, I'm doing this and I want you to move this way to grow my business. And if we allow him to be God of the situation, and the thing that you did that was foundational is you heard, for those of you that have people that work, try to listen. I try my best to hear what the people that serve me, they're business owners in their own right, but I want to hear what you have. And as much as possible, I try to implement the things that they say. But the thing that you said that is highlight number 3 for me is self-care. This is something that we're so attuned to at Georgia Christian Business Network, and our efforts to put God back in business is an opportunity to help people to understand that mental wellness is essential for being able to do greater things in life and business. And here we are hearing from you, as successful as you've been and as you are, and you will continue to be, is that you had to back it up a bit. You had to push it back and say, you know what? I need to take care of Bernard. And I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth when I say this, but it's also important to take care of those, and you have a responsibility to leadership, but it's about putting the mask on first. And when you can get that, then that's going to be an opportunity. I can only imagine what's happening in that sauna when all the downloads that God is giving you. I mean, Tanisha is probably like, you're talking her ears off when you get home at night, because or the afternoon or whatever, because what I want to stress that is so important that I've even personally realized is that when you give God space, and the space may not look like what you think it is. It's a sauna for Bernard, okay? It's a walk for me when I could walk. I would get those a lot, but my accident, I wasn't able to. But I found other opportunities of getting alone in that isolated opportunity, allowing God to get you isolated in a situation where you can just allow his peace, which is peace. When you have peace, he's present. And when he's present, there's power. Take it and go. Go forward. You just blessed me. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
And Angela, I see you out there. Thank you so much. She's on Zoom with us here. And Ridgely's here. We're just so excited. And those of you are on Facebook, I don't know, are we doing okay? Let me just make sure Lisa's not telling me anything. See what's going on. Okay, we're good, I think, but I see some people over there that are on Facebook with us. Hi, Karen. Dr. Karen's out there. She says, so funny, 80 degrees and a great reminder to take care of ourselves so we can serve others. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. For
Yes.
sure.
All right. And so before I go to my next key point, number 2, and Beth, you said it, and it's right here in my notes, just servant leadership. And, you know, my pastor did a speech not long ago, and I was fortunate to be a part of, and he said what servant leadership is when a leader leverages her or his power for the benefit and empowerment of those she or he leads, and equips them with the necessary personal support to accomplish a common goal or vision. That's what servant leadership is. I believe that. And whether you're a business owner or you're an aspiring business owner, that is the mentality as a leader, a servant leader, that we have to take. But he took it a step farther. He said that a servant leader must care. A servant leader must care, but then not be afraid to spend time showing how much they care. So as a leader, you have to show the people that are working with you how much you care. Oftentimes we get the mentality, you know, if I show that I care, it's going to show a sign of weakness, and I can't show a sign of weakness to the people that are working with me. But no, it's the complete opposite. And it works because with our businesses that we have, we show our team, and I don't even call them my employees, I call them our team, our staff, our partners. You have to show them how much you really care about them. And that's how you get the most efficiency out of the people that you work with on a day-to-day basis.
You know, people are afraid to show that they care. And yes. It's not, I used to think it was a thing among male gender, but it's people, period.
It's both.
Because,
yes.
You know, society, I don't know if I should blame society or not. But somehow we've become conditioned to believe if we open ourselves up to yes. express compassion and care, that we're going to be taken advantage of. Yes. And so this is the way God has shown me how to position it. And it's just from the word. Listen, God says, you know, you didn't take my life. Jesus said, you didn't take my life. I gave it. There will be yes. those out there that will take advantage or try to, or feel as if yes. Don't you know, I really don't care about you. Don't you know, I really don't like you. I'm just using you or whatever. And yes. God, I was in prayer this morning and God put it in my spirit and he said it to me, but I put it out there in a way to share for others to be encouraged. And he said, your name was mentioned in a room. This is the Holy Spirit. And I promise you, I'm in prayer this morning. And the Holy Spirit was like, but I was in the room too. And I heard, you just stay focused on elevation. Yes. I almost shouted. I almost ran around this building without my coat on, and it's 30-something degrees out there. Okay. Yes. I was like, oh my God. And he said, and he gave me peace, and he even gave me a glimpse of some of the opportunities where my name was being ill used or whatever. And he was just, you keep on loving. You keep on expression and care and compassion for others. You lead that. This is Elevation 2022. You stay focused on elevation. Let me take care of your light work, because yes. it's light work, you know? So put yourself out there in that caring mode. You can care for people sometimes, Bernard. I don't know if you've experienced it. And you're caring for them and you're genuine. And they're just like yes. looking you in your face and yes. stabbing you in your back. But have you experienced that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I have many times.
Okay, many times. Okay, you're right there with me. And you haven't lived as long as I have. But you know what? The thing that I believe is still true, what you're saying. If you want to experience elevation in your life, elevate your perspective on the things that you're showing us. And your point number 2 is the care and compassion, servant leadership. I love your pastor. If I don't, I'm going to send him a shout out, Dr. Marlon
Yes,
Harris.
yes. Malin
Yeah.
Harris. Yes, he is. Absolutely.
He
Yes,
is so
absolutely.
awesome.
Yes,
Yes.
he is. So the next key point that I wanted to go to, key point number 2, is investment in your personal and professional development. So for me, over the past 5 years, I've been very intentional in developing and investing in my personal and professional development. You know, sometimes we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, and we have to look at what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, to know how to sharpen our skills and to make us better at what we do. For example, over the last 5 years, I've gone through with my, through the funeral services, through my construction company. I've obtained many building affiliations or obtaining certifications. I went out, I became a licensed general, I've been a licensed general contractor in the state of Georgia for, about 7 or 8 years now. I went out and got my general contractor license in the state of North Carolina, and the reason why I did it was I had an opportunity to build some schools in North Carolina. I'm building some schools right now in North Carolina. So I said, hey, I need to get my license in North Carolina. And I'm actually certified to get my license in all of the southern states. But this is just me just reinvesting in myself, in my businesses, and you can't stop, you can't get complacent. And once you've gotten to a certain point in your life, you have to keep reevaluating where you are. How do I want to grow? You have to continue to look at the plan, your business plan of where you are and how you are measuring up to that plan that you have in place. It's not going to always go exactly how you looked at it or how you designed or crafted your business plan. It changes. Mine certainly has changed over the last several years, but you have to adapt to what it is. But then for some of the things that of some of my personal and business growth areas, one of the things that I'm probably most proud of is when my pastor, Marlon Harris at New Life Baptist Church in Decatur, asked me to serve as one of the elders at our church. And I graciously accepted. So I'm just excited to be able to just serve in that capacity. Not only has it helped me spiritually, but it's helped me professionally as well by serving in that position. So being a part of organizations, affiliations, whether it's spiritual, religious, or whether it's in the private sector, is very, very important to your growth as an entrepreneur and just as a business owner.
This is so refreshing. Did I cut you off? I don't want to.
No, you did not. Not at all.
I just like to interject here. Everything, all of that is so important. And I know some people are like, well, I wanted him to tell me how to elevate my business. Well, what I want to tell you, he's telling you right now.
That's how
this is exactly what he's doing. He's telling us, and the opportunities for expanding for the certification. And you didn't say, I'm building a school in North Carolina. I heard you say schools. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay,
yes,
in North Carolina. Now, what I also want to say, a couple of things. You're just all over the place here, and I'm just loving it, what you're doing and what you're saying. And I'm the one that's all over the place, just trying to catch up because you got my head just really just so excited here. And the opportunity is you could have been content. You said something about complacency, or is that am I bringing that up?
That's
did
correct.
You say,
no,
you did say
that,
complacency.
Yes.
Well, this is how I want to use it. Because God was already speaking to my spirit, man. Some people would have been just complacent, and I will not say content. I'm saying complacent with saying, well, I'm the VP of Gregory B. Levett Sons. I'm doing okay. This is great. We experienced probably phenomenal growth, in a unique way, as we already discussed. I could just leave that there. But see, God has given us gifts and talents. He's called us to do greater things in life. And it can't just be GCBN. I just finished Jessica, like you said, Tanisha helps you. She proofreads things. Had an opportunity to accept an invitation to be on a board. And so I had to complete my profile. And so she did the initials, and then we tweaked that, and worked together and position that today. Sometimes we think we don't have time for some of this stuff, but we've got to do community development. I know, Angela, you're familiar with that. You do a lot for Ubuntu, but you also do a lot for the Kiwanis and all of that. And I've got Ridgely Haynes over here on Zoom. You do a lot of opportunities for Leap, and he's retired and he's done great opportunities. I've had an opportunity where to speak at I forget Lawrenceville, the whole acronym, but I know I've spoken. It's an employment opportunity for people in their church, Lawrenceville United Methodist, but also an opportunity for the local community as well. So most people that I know that are serious about growing personally and professionally are focused on give back for community development. So that is essential. But the opportunity is when we're doing well, don't be afraid if God taps on you or knocks on your door or calls you out and says, I've got an opportunity for here. And so I have to fight the opportunity to be complacent. It seems like sometimes, Bernard, I'm all over the place, with him you have to be careful that you're not going for a good thing, but you're going for a God thing. Because the enemy would have you all over trying to say, yes, yes, yes. The best thing that I've learned is there are no's. The yeses are when you know that it's God, and then you won't build a school, you'll be building schools, okay? And you'll also be operating effectively at your Gregory B. Levett as a BP. You're not half-stepping. And look, volunteer. Someone with what you just said, and we haven't even gotten to the third one opportunity, and here you are taking time, and not just an hour it takes to prepare to get on these shows, but that you volunteer, And so Ridgely's told me LEAP is the Lawrenceville Employment. Let me read that. He's got it in the chat. If Beth can work the chat, that she can tell you what it says. Lawrenceville Employment Assistant Program. It's a career ministry. Yes. Thank you so much, Ridgely, for sharing that with us. So I'm really excited about, we have 6 people here on Zoom with us. I'm so excited. And there are so many people over here on Facebook. While I'm at a breather here, Bernard, let me just share another comment here that's been made. I've got several comments here. Beth, I'm not as good as this. I'm getting better though. Okay. So Jennifer, hi Jennifer, how are you? Yes, some will try to take advantage of you, yet God will still use you for his glory as long as you walk in humility and as a servant leader. Stay focused on elevation, maintain an elevated perspective. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jen. And then Karen went on to say, so your portal to God is the sauna. Yeah, that was from a previous comment that we had, for sure. Thank you guys for commenting, and thank you for being there on Facebook Live with us today. But just continue on, because this is really good information.
Yeah, and Beth, thank you for saying that earlier. So I don't have and I know we're talking about elevation, and I can't honestly sit here and tell you or the audience here that I have a roadmap or I have a blueprint of how to elevate. But what I do have is from my own experiences and what has gotten me to this point. And I felt the best way to explain elevation is just through experiences that I've had. And I think that's what's gonna allow each and every one of you that are on this call to elevate is your own personal experiences. And everything that I'm explaining to you, it certainly works. It worked for me. It may not work the same way for you, but it certainly worked by putting God first, getting connected to your community, affiliations. Because one thing, I'll tell you a quick story. I've seen several people through the years that wanted to open up funeral homes, and they've, started and had a great idea, had all the money to invest in it. But the business didn't last very long. And I'm gonna tell you why it didn't last very long. It didn't last. It's because they felt that they can just sit behind their desk and the business is gonna come to them. I don't care what business you have to be involved in the community. You have to be your own public relations person. You can't own a restaurant and be the cook and run the front door as well. You gotta put somebody, designate someone to cook the food for you. And then you gotta have someone to greet the people in the front while you operate and run the business. So my point in that is you have to get engaged, get involved, join different organizations. GCBN is a great example. This organization has truly, truly blessed us to be able to come and speak on these platforms, but putting Christianity back in business, and not very many businesses put Christianity first in their business. It works, and it's the truth.
Thank you so much for saying that and sending that shout out. And, it really is important you went back over what I have here on my notes that I'm jotting down here, that I have give back important. And I wanted to reiterate that. And you did it already. This is God. God is in the house today, guys. He said, give back is what he put, is so urgent. And we take that for granted because a small organization like GCBN, we said we're a small organization with a huge heart, but yet we're doing great things for the kingdom. And you guys recognize that at Gregory B. Levett and Sons. And you're faithful and committed to not only, it's not like talk it, but you're walking in it. You're actually not only, and that's what I love about our GCB and corporate sponsors. They take the platform like Pamela Bridgman Bartell and Rich Oswald on our Wednesday wellness show that is dedicated to mental health. That's when God laid that on my heart in 2020. Let's start a Wellness Wednesday where that people can come to experience more of a group setting, but it's an opportunity to get your head on straight, I call it, but mental wellness opportunities. They've talked about everything from narcissism to communication to opportunities. This month, we're talking about hope and the importance. And those of you that are doing your homework, going to come and participate tomorrow, watch Shawshank Redemption, because get past some of the graphics there, language, but it's some great opportunity for you to be positioned to understand what God, is positioned us to have a year full of elevation, but you got to follow it in track with hope. You got to keep that hope alive. We just had that opportunity yesterday to celebrate a king. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day was yesterday. Was celebrated. His birthday was the 15th. But the opportunity, if you believe that there's not going to be any change and that the talk that we're talking about is elevation, that's just a new word. Last year, she talked about comeback, and we experienced a comeback like never before. But you've got to put your mouth to it. And what Bernard is teaching us today is the essential ingredients are not what we're trying to say. Well, go meet this person. They're going to open that door for you. Or go over here and talk to so-and-so. Or do this particular thing and invest in here. No, these are concrete opportunities, proven opportunities to be able to experience great. And then the other way that you said something, and I had already written it down, and this is the way I termed it, put the work in.
Yes.
Put the work in. You said sit behind your desk, just relax. Come on, business. I'm open for business. You just want to do business with you. What you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. So if they're not coming to you, go out and meet them and look for opportunities of how I can see myself as a position of servicing others, because there ought to be a service component to any business. I don't care what you do. It ought to be an opportunity that you're seeing yourself as providing a service. And if you can see that, then also it's easy to translate that into seeing yourself as a minister of God, because ministry is just serving. And I love what you said about the importance of spiritual development. You have got to learn some truth, because it is the truth of God that is going to set you free. And when you're free, you're easy to, it's like I'm writing on elevation. The first chapter is eject the excess. When a plane starts to elevate, the reason you go through, when there's certain measures that they put in place, your baggage can only weigh this, the cargo can't be too much. The opportunity is that there's excess in your life that you need to eject. And when you get yourself in that place of releasing those toxic relationships, or maybe those bad habits that are not serving your body well, because he's talking about getting into the sauna and relaxing and taking time for yourself, and stop saying yes to everything and every person, but saying yes to God first. Bernard, Dawn, you just blessing me.
So I'm going to go. I just have two final points. Key point number 3, as we mentioned earlier, is resiliency during challenging time. And this is the third business that I wanted to just speak about. We have spoke about in the previous years about the funeral home, Gregory Bernard Sons Funeral Home, and then I've spoken about my construction company that I've had. That's going in parallel with my career with the funeral business, B. Levett and Company General Contractors. But in March of last year, 2021, in the middle of the pandemic, when businesses were closing, I was foolish enough to open up another business. It's a vision that I had since around 2018. And it's a company called Genesis Fire and Water Restoration. And what that company is a company where when people have floods in their homes or floods in their businesses and the water needs to be extracted and cleaned up, or if they have fire and smoke damage or mold building up in their home or their buildings, we go in and we do the mitigation and the remediation. So we actually brought the company to life back in March of last year. And I have a partner who's a good friend of mine who believed in the vision that I had. His name is Charlie Lewis. And he and I launched it together in March of last year. So with that business, and the reason why I'm sharing this as well, that even in the middle of a pandemic, we were able to actually do this, but we actually brought in 7 full-time staff members in all of this. And we were, moving and marketing, and we were starting to get business. But one of the things that I like for you all to keep in mind is make sure that you know exactly who's working with you within your company. Be very strategic in your hiring practices. One of the things that happened with us during this time was the people that we brought in, they were somewhat very melancholy at the time. And then that melancholiness turned into messiness, and then the messiness turned into malignant behavior. Needless to say, we worked with this group of people after we've invested money in terms of sending them to school, getting them their certifications and all of that. After about 5 months, they all abandoned us and went other places. So we were left only with 1 employee during this time. So
wow.
I didn't get discouraged. I didn't panic, but we became resilient during the time because we knew that God was elevating us with this business. He placed it in my heart, and I knew he was elevating us. But I believe, I have no doubt in my mind that with the flee of our staff leaving us in the middle of us getting this business going and all the money we had invested in this business, we knew that God was still in control and this is what he had for us. So after about a few months of not only having one employee that stayed during that time, we hired an entirely different crew, and that crew is with us to this day. And they are very motivating, they're very encouraged, and they have the right attitudes. And we became very strategic in how we now, in our hiring practices, we won't just hire anybody. We want to hire people that's going to complement the people that we already have now. And in doing that, the people that we have now are elevating the people that we're bringing on board to the level that they are. And when you have everybody that's thinking the same way and believing the same way and have the same mentality, there's nothing that can't get accomplished. But I wanted to just take just a quick moment. I wanted to show you all something. If I could just do just a quick field trip, it'll only take about 2 minutes or so, and I'm going to talk to you while I'm doing this, but I just wanted to share what God has done. I'm not sharing this to pump up a business or anything, but I just want to show you how real and how tangible what you put in place really is, and where we went from March, April of last year to where we've gotten to this point. So if you all would just bear with me one moment, just walk with me for a quick moment. I just wanted to share something with you.
Please, please. Awesome.
So where I am now is at Genesis Fire and Water Restoration Company. And this is what God has done for us. We have a facility in Tucker. And if you all can see this, this is what God has blessed us with, to be able to open up this company.
Turn your camera around a little bit for me, but hold it down. Oh, I see. Okay, can you see that? Yeah, I can see. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Whoa.
Can you all see this?
Yes. Yes. God is so good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look at God. Genesis. In the beginning. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my God.
So this is what God has been able to, and this started just a year ago, having nothing, to being able to purchase vehicles, be able to put people in these vehicles, and they're on the roads every day, going to people, homes, their businesses, helping them with their disasters on a day-to-day basis. And it's all because of a thought that we had and a belief in what God is doing and what God is going to do. And we're just so thankful. So I just wanted to just share that with you all, that if you have a vision and you know that it's ordained by God and it's from God and you believe it, step out on faith and do it. And I know, and I know if I'm able to do it, and sometimes I doubt at times, and I know that if I'm able to accomplish certain things in my life and believe, I'm sure you all have dreams and visions that's much greater than what I've been able to think of and believe in and to put into place. So you can actually do it. And many of you are doing it right now. So I just wanted to just show this to just encourage anyone that may be sitting on the fence about an idea or a thought that they have right now, to just say, just the thought of it is an elevation, just the thought of this idea. And for you to just implement it and step out on faith and believe God for it, that's what gets you to the next level, and to make your idea become a reality.
Oh, Bernard, this is so awesome. You know, I've got to unpack a little bit of all that, because this is just powerful. I think that originally you had a question. If you want to ask it directly, you can definitely do that since you're there. And then I'm going to unpack some of this resilience stuff. Okay. So originally unmute yourself and share that question directly, if you don't mind.
Bernard, what did you change in your hiring process to get the best employees?
We asked in the questions that we asked before, we were just so excited to get the business open that we just were just hiring people just who say they wanted a job and had an interest in this profession. But now what we started doing now is we started asking very specific, penetrating questions related to their character. But we asked it in a way that wasn't offensive, but about their character, their work ethic. And it wasn't even that they even had to have experience in this business, because we've hired, most of the people we hired had no experience in this business. But we just wanted to know that if you ask the question, that if you are interested and if you have the right work ethic and you're good with working with people, we'll train you and give you what you need to be successful in this business. So we were just very more concentrated on the questioning during our interview process, and we vetted them very well.
Love it. Love it. Soft skills are instrumental. To me, when I was in corporate and had hiring positions and management positions that allowed me to hire people, I focused more on the soft skills, which are what you're talking about, that character. I can train anybody to collect,
Yes,
I would tell them, because I
absolutely.
was a Southeast Regional Credit and Collections Manager. I said, I got that. I can train you to collect. But some things are not trainable. You need to
That's
make
right.
sure that character development is key. But I want to back it up to resilience. This is so awesome, because this is the deal. We are in 18 days, and I believe that there are businesses that have opened and that are ready to close right about now. It's open day one, ready to close now. Listen, I love Jeremiah. I think it's 12:5. You got to toughen it up. You got to become more resilient. He said, if you run with footmen, and how are you going to contend with running with horses? And okay, because footmen have 2 legs, horses have 4. Where you're trying to go through elevation, you're going to have to run with the horses. He said, and they weary you. If the footmen weary you, how are you going to do when you start running with the horses? And the other thing that we can see through your transparency and sharing with us that I just love, don't think because somebody leaves you that you thought was going to stick with you, leaves. You've got to learn something that I heard Bishop Jake say. You've got to learn the gift of goodbye. Right. Yes. Bye. Amen. See ya. See you later. See you later. Said. We used to say it when I was growing up, and I'm dating myself 63 years. See you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile. And I mean, you might have to get in your spirit, man, a little petty about it for just a second, but you're on your way to elevation. So release and let it go, because it's that excess baggage that I'm talking about that you don't need for elevation. It's a good thing that they left you when they did, rather than to stay with you a little bit longer and you think they're all in and everything. You get this huge job and they're not there. Okay. So the opportunity that I believe in resilience is to first start off with everything you've already said, from that prayer, from that self-care, to that meditation and taking care of yourself, servant leadership and all of that. And when you've done all that you can do, you stand. If God be for you, Romans 8:31, who can be against you? And so when it looks like that you're failing, you're just on your way up. It's a matter of be still. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. If I called you to it, then it's going to be me that's going to take you to it. Hold things just a little bit lighter. You got them too tight. And look for God. Look to the hills from which cometh your help. Who was it in the beginning? It was you and God. You got me. You're going to have to calm me down a little bit here, because I'm telling you, this is so good. I knew it was going to be good. I knew it. I took a few minutes before to get out and tell people to come. So those of you that are watching the replay, I want you to know that you are blessed as well. You're not participating right now. Next time, get on the call so you can talk and have a conversation like Ridgely and here. It's just so good. Or get on Facebook Live with us so that you can be present in the moment. And yes, Karen, learn the gift of goodbye. It's just such an awesome opportunity that you want people to stick with you, but sometimes you have to go through a couple of opportunities. I've got such an outstanding team, but I've been through, I can't even count them anymore. Okay. But sometimes God knows, and you want people to have a heart for your business. You know, like my team, they have a heart for my business. Lisa and Jessica, they think of things for me, you know, that some of the programs, most of them, I'm the visionary, you know, and I come up with these things, but they have opportunities when people buy into your business, you know it. And I went out on my Instagram page and I didn't even know whose it was. I thought I was on the wrong page, Bernard, because it was just such another level. And Lisa had got out there and done her graphics. She's the best graphics person I know. And she got out there and she did it. And I was like, that's somebody that cares about the vision. They heard your vision and they bought into the vision. And there are people like that God has assigned to you that you want to reel them in this year. Embrace the people that are assigned to you. Release those that are not. This is wonderful. Okay, so I'm over just a couple of minutes here, Bernard, but I've got to give you a last say. So y'all bear with us a second. And then I want to do a little position them for what's up next. Okay.
Yes, just last 30 seconds. Just in closing, just be mindful of self-care. And that self-care is just not an extracurricular activity. It's necessary for your health and your lifestyle and your mental stability. Invest in your personal and professional development. Because if you don't do it, no one else will. Your resiliency is essential to your growth in all areas of your life, especially your business. We didn't talk about this last part, but the network, your network is your net worth. You must grow your net worth, but also support your net worth. And I just want to leave you with this scripture, Proverbs 19:21. It says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Know your purpose so you can elevate. Thank you all.
Woo, you so blessed us today. Thank you. I agree with you, Ridgely. You can see his chat there. Thank you, Bernard. It was just great, enlightening in so many regards. I appreciate Angela, Elise, Ridgely here on Zoom with us. There's Karen, Jennifer, Lisa's men in the fort over there. Just so many that are out there over on Facebook Live. We appreciate you all joining us today. I am so blessed. Love to Tanisha. Thank her for being a part of that. You know, just caring about GCBN. When I met her, she's so absolutely gorgeous, but just a beautiful spirit within. And I just thank God for what he's doing in your lives. And I thank you guys for your support of GCBN and putting God back in business. And we need to be promoting some of those other businesses, especially that water restoration. So we need to talk about that. We need to get that out there for you as well. So I'm looking forward to having you come back again. We've got some things we're going to talk about that we talked about prior to the show. But what I'd like to just do is just say thank you. For those that have joined us today, again, sincerely, thank you. Come back tomorrow, noon, Zoom, Wellness Wednesday. We're unpacking hope. We're doing a deep dive on hope. There's great opportunities for you to be encouraged this year because this is a year of elevation. As just we heard from Bernard Levett Jr., there may be opportunities where you're going to be challenged, but you've got to stay the course, stay focused, have that Nehemiah approach. I'm doing a great work. I will not come down. Like he said in his water restoration business, he said, no, God, you gave us this vision and he's for us. So we're going to continue to do this thing and look at God, what he gave us, a visual that we could see. So join us on Wellness Wednesday tomorrow, Small Business Friday, noon nugget. coming up. You won't want to miss that. We're putting out there what you need to succeed. We want you to join our network. Visit our site, www.gcbnetwork.com. Join as a member. A member is $159 per year. As a sponsor, we start at $5 and go to $1,500 plus, whatever level you prefer. But we need your help because we've embraced our calling. We're a catalyst to help you win in business and in life. But it's the ball's in your court. It's time for you to dribble, okay? And make that shot. Just join up with us. Again, Bernard, outstanding. Thank you so much. And I will be in contact with you very soon. God bless you all. Thank you again for joining us. All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.